You ever pull into your own driveway just to have someone scream you're not allowed there? Like you're some fugitive crashing a top-secret base instead of coming home after a brutal week? That's what happened to me, and the ringleader was a woman with a smartphone and a vendetta, filming me like I'd just busted out of a maximum security pen. "This is a security breach," she hollered, spinning for the drama. I pointed to my faded ranch sign, clear as day, but facts didn't faze her. If you've ever dealt with a neighborhood tyrant who thinks they're the law, you'll get this. Drop a comment with your craziest HOA story. This one's a roller coaster. I'm Daniel Harper, a 52-year-old federal judge in Colorado's Western District. By May 2024, I was drowning in corporate fraud cases, 3 trials for money laundering, 2 appeals that kept me up past midnight, and a sentencing for a tech CEO who'd fleeced retirement funds. After losing my wife, Emily, to breast cancer 4 years ago, I bought a 15-acre ranch in Sagebrush Valley, just outside Fort Collins, to escape the courtroom's endless parade of greed. The old cedar-sided house was rough, with a sagging porch and a horse barn that creaked in the wind, but it had soul. A good well, wide open land, and my rescue mutt, Scout, tearing around it was my sanctuary. I never expected a welcoming party straight out of a corporate power trip, led by a woman whose suit probably cost more than my monthly grocery bill. Her name was Victoria Langston, HOA president of Sagebrush Valley Preserve, and she was live-streaming me like I was public enemy number 1. Suspicious individual at property line. Her phone blared, viewer count ticking up. Share for community safety. Her blonde hair, stiff as a helmet, whipped in the wind as she yelled, "This is a private HOA zone. You need clearance." I leaned against my truck, calm as I'd be in court. "Ma'am, this is my ranch. Bought it in 2020. Deeds in my glove box if you want it." Her eyes narrowed, unfazed. "That sign means nothing. This area is under HOA control." Her voice had that grating edge of someone used to winning by out-shouting everyone. I've seen her type on the stand loud. "Not right. Call the sheriff," I said, cool as ever. "I'll wait." That threw her, but she doubled down, waving her phone like a weapon. "Don't play calm with me. My husband's got ties to county officials." That piqued my interest. Name-dropping connections usually hides weakness. I noted her mention of county ties as her stream racked up views. She was building a case against herself, filming her own harassment of a guy on his own land. Rule 1 in my courtroom: let your opponent dig their grave. I stayed quiet, letting Victoria's performance roll. 20 minutes later, Deputy Ryan Keller's cruiser rolled up, dust swirling. Victoria amped up the theatrics. "Officer, this man's trespassing." I feared for my safety. She was 20 feet away, and I hadn't budged. I handed Ryan my deed, license, and survey. He scanned them, frowning. "Mr. Harper, you own this land outright. Survey's clearly good." To Victoria, sharper, "Ma'am, false reports are a misdemeanor. Check property lines before you call." Victoria pivoted. "Fine, but he still violates HOA rules." Ryan sighed, driving off, leaving her fuming. She slapped a 50-page HOA rulebook into my hands. "Warning, I'll monitor you daily. Violations go straight to the board." Flipping through, I saw a rules added post, 2020, after I'd bought the place. Back home, her notices started piling up. My native sagebrush was non-compliant. My rain barrel faced the wrong wind. Scout's barking was acoustic terrorism. By week 2, my kitchen wall was papered with her nonsense, like a crime scene collage. Amused at first, I soon realized this wasn't just petty, it was a shakedown. Digging into public records, I found a goldmine. Over 3 years, the HOA paid $250,000 to Langston Environmental Consulting, run by Victoria's husband, Edward. For a 40-home community, that's $6,250 per house in consulting fees, $600 hourly for landscaping advice, and $300 for noise monitoring, mostly Victoria's own complaints. The math screamed fraud. Driving through Sagebrush Valley, I noticed 4 empty homes, for sale signs faded, yards replanted with dying, overpriced plants from approved vendors. I knocked on doors, starting with an elderly gardener, Martha Evans, who whispered through her screen, "They fined me $2,500 for my bird feeder. Said it disrupted fauna patterns. I took a loan to pay, or they'd lean my house." A retired nurse, Carl Jensen, shared, "My neighbor, Ruth was 85. They hit her with $15,000 in fines for wrong shrubs. She sold to Edward's firm for half her home's value. My ranch's history sealed it. Prior owners, George and Ellen Walsh, lost it to foreclosure after $18,000 in fines for invasive flora and unpermitted gardening. They'd been bullied out, and I'd bought their stolen dream at auction. A summons arrived for a disciplinary hearing over $9,000 in fines, listing violations like my truck being a commercial vehicle and my mailbox's heritage mismatch. The hearing, at the community center, was Victoria's stage. She strode in, glasses perched, clutching a folder labeled Disciplinary Action. Harper, Daniel J. The 5 board members, her puppets, sat stone-faced. Victoria read a 3-page violation list like a CEO firing an intern. I presented my $2,000 survey, proving her claims baseless. She snatched it, tore it in half, and sneered, "Unapproved evidence. We decide what's valid." I pressed, "What gives you power to reject state-licensed surveys?" Her reply was chilling. "This isn't a democracy, Mr. Harper. It's compliance." The board upheld the fines, tacking on $2,500 for processing. That night, under starlit pines, I felt the thrill of a prosecutor facing a true adversary. Victoria had shredded evidence and flaunted control textbook abuse. I invited all 40 households to a community info meeting at my ranch, promising HOA financial insights. 30 showed up, including Victoria, smirking, phone filming, expecting my flop. I started casually, then dropped the hammer. "I'm Daniel Harper, federal judge, appointed by the president, confirmed by the Senate. I've spent 30 years prosecuting fraud and corruption." Victoria's coffee cup hit the patio, shattering. Faces turned, phones searched my name. I projected records, $250,000 to Edward's firm, 85% from elder fines, linked to forced sales. Martha stood, voice trembling. "They fined me $3,500 for my roses. I sold my car to pay." Carl added, "They made me replant my yard 4 times $8,000. Edward bought my neighbor's place cheap." Victoria leapt up. "This is judicial abuse." But her allies backed away as residents connected dots. I showed my ranch's foreclosure history, George, and Ellen's ruin. Silence fell, broken only by wind chimes. Victoria's reign cracked. 2 days later, she held a press conference at the HOA clubhouse, in a pristine suit, crying federal overreach to local news. I stayed quiet, letting her dig deeper. Her husband, Edward, emailed the HOA, resigning, bailing on her sinking ship. Then, Tuesday, I heard metal crunching. Victoria was smashing my truck with a crowbar, dust staining her suit, cursing about teaching that judge. My barn camera caught every swing, plus her earlier mailbox break in a federal crime. Deputy Ryan arrived as she dented my hood, arresting her mid-rant. My footage sealed it. Posted by a neighbor, HOA tyrant wrecks judge's truck, went viral, racking millions of views. At trial in Larimer County, January 2025, Victoria defended herself, her suits flashier, her arguments wilder. The prosecution played my video, slow-motion smashes paired with elder testimonies. Martha's words, "She stole our peace," hit hard. The jury took 90 minutes, guilty on vandalism, mail tampering, fraud, elder abuse. The Judgeme State Court colleague gave her 15 months, $200,000 restitution, and a lifetime HOA ban. Sagebrush Valley exhaled. The HOA dissolved, replaced by a neighborly co-op for potlucks, not fines. Restitution refunded $250,000, healing wounds. Empty homes filled with new families, free from fear. I hosted a ranch barbecue, scout romping, wind chimes singing. Edward fled to Nevada. Victoria's appeals flopped in jail. The story exploded, judge versus HOA became a rallying cry. Real estate ads touted HOA free. I got letters from elders nationwide, outing similar scams, which I sent to prosecutors. 6 months later, a new neighbor, Sylvia Langston Vance, Victoria's cousin, moved into a once-empty house, measuring my fence with an HOA-ish gleam. I grinned at Scout, ready for round 2. Some fights end, some just spawn new Karens. What's your take? Was I right to expose Victoria publicly, or too harsh? Should HOAs enforce standards, or are they ripe for abuse? Did Victoria deserve jail, or was she a product of power run amok? Comment, like if you're team judge, and subscribe for more battles against the system.